Hey, welcome! Do you ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels when you study? You put in the hours, but the results, they just aren't there. Well, you're in the right place. We're going to unpack some awesome, brain-friendly techniques that will totally change how you learn. Think more retention, way less effort. So, let's dive right in. I mean, we've all been there, right? You spend a solid hour, maybe two with a textbook. You're reading, you're highlighting, then you close the book and poof, it's just gone. It's so frustrating. But here's the thing. What if the answer isn't about just trying harder? What if it's about studying smarter? And that right there, that's the absolute key. Seriously, the problem is almost never that you're not trying hard enough. It's usually just that you don't have the right strategy. See, real learning isn't about cramming information into your head. It's about working with how your brain is actually wired. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to build you a brand new, way smarter study strategy. Okay, first things first, we have to figure out how your brain likes to learn. Because let's be real, the best study methods are never one size fits all. They have to be personalized for you. So that's our foundation. Step one, getting to know yourself. So a really great starting point for this is something called the Vake model. Now, just a heads up, modern science tells us we all use a mix of these things. But figuring out what you prefer can be a huge help. It basically boils down to a simple question. Do you learn best when you see it, hear it, or do it? Let's break down what each of those means. All right, first up, visual learners. If this is you, you probably think in pictures. You're the person who just loves a good infographic, right? Or maybe a perfectly color-coded calendar. For you, things like diagrams, flowcharts, and highlighters aren't just for looking organized. They're absolutely essential to actually make the information stick in your brain. Then you've got auditory learners. As the name suggests, you learn best through your ears. You're the one who remembers exactly what someone said in a conversation, but maybe not what was written on the whiteboard. So for you, recording lectures, talking things out with a study buddy, or even just reading your notes out loud to yourself, those can be absolute game changers. And last but not least, we have our kinesthetic learners. You guys are the doers. You learn by touch, by movement. Just sitting still through a lecture can feel like torture because you process information by being active. So my advice? Don't fight that instinct. Get up, walk around while you're reviewing stuff, build a model of a concept, use flashcards you can actually hold and flip. It makes a huge difference. Okay, so no matter what your personal style is, there are some amazing memory hacks that work for pretty much everyone. Think of these as universal tools for your study toolkit. Let's check out a few quick wins you can start using, like right now. First on the list is the acrostic. This one is a classic, and for good reason. Our brains are just wired to remember stories and sentences way better than they remember random lists. An acrostic taps right into that. You create a memorable little sentence where the first letter of each word is a clue for something you need to remember. Here's a super famous example for remembering the order of the planets. Just trying to memorize Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, it's tough. But a silly sentence like, "My very excellent mother just served us nothing," that gives you an instant hook for each planet's name. It turns a boring, dry list into a tiny story, and your brain loves that. Okay, next up is the acronym. It's kind of like the acrostics cousin, but even shorter and punchier. Instead of a whole sentence, you just grab the first letter of each thing you need to remember and turn it into a new word you can actually say. A perfect example, remembering the 5 Great Lakes. All you need is one little word, homes. That's it. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior. It's so simple but so powerful because it takes 5 different facts and squishes them into one single, easy-to-remember chunk. Super efficient, and it just works. So these memory tricks are great, right? But they're only useful if you can get the information from the textbook into your brain in the first place. And that means we need to talk about that first step, mastering how you read and how you take notes. Here's a pro tip. You shouldn't read everything the same way. You got to change your technique based on what you're trying to do. For example, if you just need to get the general idea of a chapter before class, you skim. You're just grabbing headings and the first sentence of each paragraph. But if you're looking for one specific fact or a quote for a paper, you scan. Your eyes just fly over the page, ignoring everything until that keyword pops out. Trust me, using the right tool for the job saves you so much time. Okay, so once you're done reading, you can't just stop there. The next step is crucial. You have to process what you just read. And a mind map is an amazing tool for this. You just put the main idea in the middle, and then you draw branches for all the related concepts. This is so powerful because it actually forces your brain to make connections, turning pages and pages of boring notes into one single picture that tells the whole story. All right, so we've talked about learning styles, some cool memory hacks, and smarter ways to read. The real key, though, is to not see these as a bunch of strict rules. Think of them more like a toolkit. You can pick and choose and customize them to figure out what works for you. So let's recap how to build your personal study toolkit. First, try to figure out your preferred learning style. Then, start using some of those memory tricks like acrostics or acronyms to make things stick. Always be strategic when you read. Know when to skim and when to scan. After you read, try condensing the info into a mind map. And here's the most important part. Experiment. Play around with all of this. The only perfect system is the one you create for yourself. So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. What's the very first new skill you're going to try? Maybe you'll make your first mind map, or maybe you'll come up with a funny acrostic for your next test. Whatever it is, remember that the journey to studying smarter starts with just one small step. So go on, take it.